Dear audience, welcome to the show POWERchat. In today's episode, we will be discussing on issues concerning economic growth of Nepal. Joining me today is Mr. Mahabir Pun, Chairman of the National Innovation Center. Mr. Pun, a teacher, social entrepreneur, and an activist known for his extensive work in the areas of wireless technologies. He was also awarded with the famous Ramon Magsaysay Award for his contribution in the area of community leadership in the year 2007. Please allow me to welcome him. Welcome to the show, Mr. Pun.
Thank you very much.
How have you been?
I have been very good, but for the last 2 days I am a little bit sick.
How do you observe the overall development process and development challenges of Nepal in relation to the work you have been carrying for last 2 or more decades?
In overall, if we have to talk about the development process, or the speed of the development that is happening in Nepal is very slow. That is why we are very poor country. Just take an example of Korea. In 1950, Korea was poorer than Nepal. Many people say this. I don't know exactly the data, but in 1950, Korea was poorer than Nepal. Malaysia was poor. Singapore didn't exist. But now they are, way ahead of us in terms of economic development. So if we look at this data, then I can tell that the development process or the work that has been that is being done in the field of the development, especially the economic development, it is very slow.
What are the reasons that the countries they were similar to Nepal in terms of development decades back, they have reached to the optimum level of the development now, and our country remains back? What are the reasons behind slow development of Nepal?
Okay, I can just give just one example or one reason why Nepal got so backward in terms of economic development. What the other countries, developed countries, did for the economic development of Nepal is they utilized their human resources, talented human resources, capable human resources for the development of the country. They give so much priority. They give so much priority to keep the talented people of their country there, and supported them, and in order to do that, they brought many programs, research and development programs, to keep the talented people. That's what Nepal didn't do.
You mean that the issues concerning research or utilizing or mobilizing the talented youth minds, that could not happen in Nepal, resulting to the slow pace of development?
Yes, because what they did, they utilized their talented people and developed technology in the country. It is not possible to develop all the technology in the country for the development. Whatever can be developed in the country, they did. Whatever they couldn't develop, they imported. So we have to do the same thing in Nepal as well. So in the last 65 years of history of Nepal, not a single government, political parties, political leaders, political system and planners of the nations did priority, slightest priority, to keep the human resources, especially the talented human resources in Nepal. That is why most of all of our talented human resources were drained to the foreign countries, and we did not have and we couldn't develop the industries in Nepal. That's why most of these other people who are now working abroad, like this 2 million, 3 million people working abroad, they had to leave the country. Well, so that is the main reason why Nepal is poor country.
Well, Mr. Pun, you raised very important issue on developing human resources in country. I will come back to you on that. you were awarded with the famous Ramon Magsaysay Award in 2007 for your contribution to community leadership. What, in your experience, could be influential to engage, community for development process, or how the communities of Nepal be engaged or participated or empowered so that they engage in the development activities?
Yeah, they say that I was awarded, Ramon Magsaysay Award for community development. But the fact is, I didn't do any leadership role. Always from the very beginning, it has been 25 years since I have been working as a social worker.
Could you tell us what have you done so that you were awarded with famous
I worked
Ramon
in the
Magsaysay
communities.
Award?
I tried whatever I could try. I tried whatever I could, to help the communities move forward. So whatever I have been doing for the last 25 years, even during the time when they awarded me the Ramon Magsaysay, in every field, like in the field of education, in the field of health, in the field of income generation, in the field of all these community development works. So what I have been doing is I am not leading the communities. That's why what I say is the leaders and the award that was given to me for doing community leadership was it was wrong. I didn't do any leadership role. I always, what I do, I put the people in the leadership role in every community where I work, and I just stay behind and provide my support from behind the scene, whatever way I can. Because one of the reason I saw why many of these projects started by like NGOs and INGOs fell was because these people, the development workers, what they were doing or they are still doing is they take the leadership role and ask the people to follow them. I found that as a wrong process, so I never tried to take the leadership role, and I stayed behind. I put the people to come up with the ideas, whatever they want to do, however they want to develop their community, whatever their needs. I asked them to do that by themselves, and what I told them, I am still telling them wherever I go, is I would provide my support in my capacity.
How do you evaluate the situation of community people in the areas where you worked on issues concerning ICTs, connecting people to the information technologies?
Yes,
at this moment.
Well, during this 25 years of my time, one of the area I got involved was bringing technology in the rural areas. The reason I decided to bring this technology, information technology in the rural areas is because there was nothing there. So in order to make a telephone call during 2000s, in early 2000, people had to come to district headquarters. People had to come to like Pokhara or Kathmandu to write to check emails. So that it was that time. So I decided to bring internet and this technology in the rural area just for communication. That was the beginning. But later, now all these mobile operators, telecom companies are moving in the rural areas, and they are providing voice services, mobile services. So what we are doing is we have shifted our priorities from communication to use the technology for helping to improve the quality of education and of helping in the field of health.
Well,
so that's what we are doing.
Pun, now you have started with a new initiative called National Innovation Center, and there are some stories about this center that you were approaching to different government authorities, and despite commitments in words, government authorities could not assist you or could not facilitate your work. Tell us, what do you envisage in this center, and what are the major visions
The idea of starting national innovation center came after the experience I learned in 25 years. For 25 years I worked as a social worker, mostly trying to help the society, mountain communities, to make their life a little bit better or easier. But after working for 25 years as a social worker, I came into a conclusion. My conclusion is a country cannot be, and nobody can make a country like Nepal a developed country just by doing social work. Social work is needed as long as there is human society in this world. We must do social work. But social work, just the social work, cannot make a country a developed country. In order to make a country like Nepal a developed country, we have to do economic development work.
So idea is basically to speed up the process of economic development.
Yes, the idea of National Innovation Center is to find ways to speed up the economic development.
What are the areas that you have started working, or you are requesting or taking this initiative?
We are in the initial phase right now. We are just gathering ideas. In order to do the economic development, the most important resources for doing economic development is the human resources. And there are two kinds of human resources. One is talented human resources with a lot of brains, innovative ideas, creative ideas. So we have to capture those ideas, the innovative ideas, creative ideas of the talented people. And all this, and the reason we are doing this is because what we can see, if we look around the world, all the developed countries like Japan, Korea, America, Europe, all these developed countries, they are utilizing the talents of their people for the development. Because if we can nurture a talented people with creative ideas, that can generate millions or thousands of job opportunity for a country. So that has not been done in Nepal. So that is why all these talented people of Nepal, creative people of Nepal, they have to leave the country because the government has not taken any initiative. Like I said, in the 65 years history of Nepal, no government, no political parties, no leaders, no political system has taken initiative to keep the talented people in Nepal, or
to stop brain drain,
or to stop the brain drain. So that is why our focus, we cannot do everything. We cannot do everything in the field of economic development. Now we need to do, and for example, we need to build roads, we need to build power stations, we need to build so many things for economic development. We need to bring investors. Whatever we do, until we keep the talented people, all these things, even if we build roads, even if we build power, even if we bring investors, we cannot do economic development. So the main capital for doing the economic development of a country, not only Nepal or any country in the world, is the human capital. So our focus, the focus of National Innovation Center is to try to find as much as it is possible to keep the human talents them. So to do that, we need to provide them financial support and mentoring. That's the idea. We are not doing, National Innovation Center is not doing the people who are involved, like the board members or the people who are involved here, is not doing any innovation by ourselves, but we are helping this young generation of Nepalese innovators, by providing them financial support, mentoring, whatever way we can, and nurture their ideas, and provide capable human resources.
Well, Mr. Pun, you have illustrated a very frustrating fact that no governments during last 6 or 7 decades have taken up with the initiative so that brain drain is stopped. What is your idea how the brain drain or the talented people going out of this country, they can be kept inside the country so that their mind is properly utilized for the process of economic development?
So for that, government.
What should stakeholders do, including you, your center, and the state agencies or other stakeholders?
So we have what we are saying now. We have 4 steps to do that. Whether we do it or whether anybody do it. The first step is prototype development stage. We need to provide as much financial support and mentoring needed for the people who come up with innovative and creative ideas. That's the first step.
And
so what we will do is we will provide full financial support, whatever amount of money they need and whatever kind of mentoring from experts they need in the prototype development stage. But what happens is, in the first stage, more than 80% of this efforts or money that we invest for the prototype development stage fails. Only 10 to 15% succeed. So whoever succeed in the first phase, we will have to take them to the second phase, which is product development stage. And in product development stage, they will need our financial support and mentoring, and we will provide them all these supports. And what they will do in the second phase is they will develop a product, a sample of a product or service. So that's one. Then after that, they need support to get this legal rights such as patent rights, copyrights, intellectual property rights, trademarks, etc. They need support, financial support, because it costs a lot of money to do that as well. So we will provide them all these supports. And then finally, after doing this, on the fourth stage, we will connect them to the investors. There may be foreign investor, Nepali investor, whoever investors would be interested in their ideas and produce the product and market it. So the fourth stage. So these are the 4 steps we will be taking, and anybody should take. If we really want to nurture the creativity, innovativeness, and the talents of the people, and that's how all the developed countries like America did the same thing. America is bringing all the talented people of Nepal to America, not all of the world to America, and they're developing so many things, and Europe, all these developed countries. We have so many scientists, engineers, doctors, researchers, in every field, working all over the world. So we must do this.
Well, Mr. Pun, one of the major visions you envisage within the center is establishing a hydropower company and to develop a hydropower station. What are the concrete plans to make it happen?
First, let me make clear that we are not going to innovate anything on hydropower, engineering. What the goal to develop a 10 megawatt hydropower is to use that hydropower station as the resources, as the source of income to run the innovation center. If we can build a 10 megawatt hydropower station, it will bring 30 crore or $3 million every year.
So you are planning to sell that station to government?
Yes, sell the power to the government or Nepal Electricity Authority, and use that income to support these talented people. Because if we get $3 million every year from the hydropower station, we can use at least $2 million to support these innovative and creative people for their research and for the research work. That's the main idea. So that is why many people got confused. Why are you starting innovation center, or are you starting hydropower? Why do you have to start a hydropower station? People don't understand it, because in order to make the innovation center sustainable, we are building the hydropower station, and we are not going to do any innovation in hydropower engineering.
Well, Mr. Pun, from the beginning you have been focusing on developing a human capital.
Yes.
Again, I would like to ask you that how do you plan to engage innovative youths and creative people in your campaign, especially that of you mentioned that of developing prototype to coming up to the production level. How do you plan to engage innovative youths in your campaign?
So first, people ask what area we are focusing on. That's the question many people have been asking to me. My answer is, innovation can be done in any areas. It can be done in it's not like in scientific area like physics or chemistry or math or something. It can be done on anything: engineering, technology, development, ICT, agriculture, health, education, business, even music, whatever. Innovation can happen in any field. So whoever will come with some innovative ideas on any areas, we will try to support them financially and provide them mentoring. Those are the two things we will provide to all these young innovators and who come to ask us for support.
Well, Mr. Pun, it was really a very good time talking to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Dear audience, time now to wrap up the show. Keep watching us. See you next week. Namaste.